What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Burn the Ship, where we aspire to inspire, but at the same time, we want to be a resource for those of you who check us out. So today's podcast is powered by Louisiana Catalyst. And today's guest, we have Mr. John Garrison with Louisiana Delta Community College.
Correct.
Welcome.
Thanks a lot, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming on. I know that Louisiana Delta Community College has been a huge partner with Louisiana Catalyst from day one. When Mr. Epps was leading the charge and was very supportive and had an entrepreneurial spirit and really helped us get going and plugged us in, made some introductions to EAP, so y'all were right there from the mix. So as y'all continue to evolve and bring in different programs, and of course, me and John have known each other a while, so it's like, with his background and back on the ship, I definitely want to get him in and tell us a little bit what he had going on.
Good. Right now, we have a lot going on, as you can imagine, with our new discoveries in the world that we've gone through the pandemic and such. The workforce has taken a change. We've gotten our new challenges now, and we're partnering differently than we had before. So my direct responsibilities with Louisiana Delta Community College, as in the workforce side, we're all a family, but you have a academic side and you have a workforce side. And I think everyone pretty much understands the academic side, how you go to class Monday, Wednesday, Friday type thing, and Tuesday, Thursdays, your other classes for college credit hours. Now the workforce side, the side I work with directly, we offer certifications and our completer certificates in certain classes. Some of those classes include the newer ones that we have are our heavy equipment class, and that seems to be taking a good launch right now. We have had several students in those classes, and the classes vary in range from a half a dozen to a dozen students, which makes it safe, okay?
Right.
And speaking of the safe portion of it, some of the fun stuff that we've added to the class is the simulators. The guys and gals that are in the class love the simulators. I use it as an incentive program at the beginning of the class. It's a 4-week class. That particular class is a 4-week class, and they go through a lot of safety. Of course, we don't want anybody to get hurt. It's very costly for any company, any service company, any manufacturing company, so on and so forth. So we cover a lot of safety and a lot of general knowledge that they may or may not have coming out of high school or wanting to change their career, upskill, depending. Everyone's different, right? So I use the heavy equipment simulator as an attractive tool. Right. As we finish class during the day. Then I give them the opportunity to go play on the simulator. Doesn't cost me any fuel, doesn't cost me any safety issues, and the guys and gals love it. They really love it.
That's awesome.
Some of the other classes that we are developing, we have one going right now, is our utilities class. I like to call it the trenchless utility installation technician. That's a long title, right? So it's my TUIT class, T-U-I-T. So it's my utilities class. I like to just call it for short. And it is a new class that we developed with one of our partners. Etheridge Pipeline and Conduit has been a wonderful partner we've partnered with recently. There's a shortage of workers out there, which I'm sure you're hearing over and over and over. Well, not only is there a shortage of workers, well, there's a shortage of students.
Right.
So our new, I'll say, model as a workforce side is to partner with these companies, service companies, manufacturing companies, and they, I won't say sponsor, but they offer monies or scholarship monies or however we can find funding for these students to attend these classes. And at the end of the day, those partners actually help with the training.
Right.
Because I'm no subject matter expert in everything, so I bring the subject matter experts in. And they talk, and they get to meet these students, and they get to, it's almost like an interview for some of the students, if you will. And they get to see their drive and motivation and who's learning what. Because everybody's not going to do the same job. Right. You're not going to have 50 people to do the same job. So in the utilities industry, which there's a huge, ginormous broadband initiative going on in our region.
Right.
And Louisiana Delta Community College covers 2,200 square miles. We cover a lot of real estate,
Right.
right? So we cover really about from the center of Louisiana on the I-20 corridor all the way to the Mississippi River, Arkansas line, all the way down to, I guess, a little south of Columbia there is where our Central Community College picks up.
Right.
So we cover a really large, really rural area
Right.
that doesn't have broadband. And for those who don't understand the broadband portion is the internet.
Yeah, right.
Where
Hard to
did
do
that come-
online classes when you don't have internet.
Yeah, there's the struggle.
Sum it up.
And when the pandemic struck, which online became as important
Right.
to us as electricity.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
literally, kids are sitting at home. They're not in school. The not all environments are structured, so their environment totally changed for them. They can't get online. They can't attend school. What do we do?
Right.
So to prevent this from happening again, there's a huge broadband initiative on probably just about all the states in our United States.
Right.
But ours is directed here toward the Northeast Louisiana region, the North Louisiana region, and other parts of the state. That is what prompted the utilities course. Now, I'm not going to say that those are the only courses that we have. We have a lot of other courses. We also have CNC machining. We have some robotics training. We have hydraulics and pneumatics. All of these jobs are individual pieces, parts that folks can come in, get certifications. And there are some of our programs, such as our heavy equipment class, or even our NCCER core class that they can take. And they're guaranteed interviews with certain companies. These these companies have partnered with us and
Right.
said, if these people are completers of this course, we like the course so much, we'll at least give them an interview.
Right.
And I can't promise I'm going to hire everybody,
Sure.
right? May not have enough space.
Sure.
But they certainly keep them in the line, or we keep that pipeline coming. And that's what our overall objective is to start and partner with these companies and build this pipeline of workers that everyone's needing. We need a pipeline of students, so to guarantee or really educate them and give them certifications and career paths, or even if they want to change career paths, we give them the opportunity to come get that training, and they get a certification, they get an interview, they possibly get hired. If not, they go to another interview. You know how it works.
Right.
You don't always strike it rich the first time.
Right.
So you got to keep trying. So we're really pushing hard to get a lot of partnerships with a lot of industry partners and to bring in more students and create those pipelines. Along with that, we have a lot of other courses that are coming up the road that I'm helping develop. That's what they want me to do, is develop more courses so we
Right.
can get more things going.
Right. Well, what I love about that is, I guess maybe on your side, not so much the academic side, is this was my biggest frustration when I was looking at colleges is it's so hyper focused. You don't have to take music while
No.
you're trying to get this. Like my worst grades were in music and history. Like granted they're important, but it's like I just want to be focused on what my degree is really in. So I think that's advantageous. Do you guys see a level of maybe retention or maybe less turnaround on that side versus maybe the academic side because of that? Because it's so hyper-focused?
I'm glad you brought that up. Our classes are very concentrated courses. We have anywhere from a one day course to a 6 or 8 week course. And when I say weeks, they're in class. I mean, they're in class 30 plus hours a week. So we start it, and I let the class decide this. If I'm instructing, I let the class decide, because a lot of these classes can start at 8 o'clock. But in industry, a lot of industry starts at 6, 6:30, 7 in the morning. So I encourage them sometimes as a unit that we start class at 7. Let's go ahead and break ourselves in,
Sure.
so to speak.
Yeah, get ready for what's really coming.
Right.
That's right. And there are some courses that we actually clock in and clock out. You have to teach them how to clock in and clock out. Not everything's digital.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We would like to move toward that, but not everything today is digital. So
Right.
we teach them some of the ins and outs of a business. But to go back to what you were talking about, the concentration of the class, when we go into class at 7:30, 8 o'clock, whatever time we start, we're there all day. We take lunches. They're expected to be back on time. And we leave on time. So I'm a big stickler on being there on time and leaving on time because I respect their time just as much as they do mine.
Right.
So, and we build those things into the class. The other part of that is when we bring in those subject matter experts and they see that they're on time and we do what we say we're going to do, it builds a great relationship. I actually have these partners come in and want to, I mean, they do this for free. They come in and they'll teach a half a day's class. They're like, thank you so much for letting us volunteer. And I would encourage anyone that would like to throw some volunteer services out there to come and talk to a class, speak to a class. We got classes going on right now.
Gets them out of the office.
Get some out of the office. There you go. There's your more
little interaction, you know.
That's right. And bring the swag, and the kids love it, or the guys and gals love it. So it really creates a positive environment.
Teach them if you do really well, you'll get in a position to where you can get out of work, come back and talk to people. You know?
Community service, you know.
Yeah, and I preach that too.
Right.
Always hone your craft.
Sure.
You know, if you're good at something, you start down that road, hone that craft.
Right.
Get better at it. Because I'm not going to teach you all the ins and outs. I mean, let's be specific. I'm going to teach you the safety portion. I'm going to teach you what this is and what that is and recognition. And then it's up to you to develop that skill.
Right.
For instance, the one I love the most is folks like to say, I need to hire a machinist. Well, that's great. But they're really learning how to operate the machine first, and they have to learn the ins and outs. And that's what we teach. We teach them the safety aspect, how to measure stuff and how to set up stuff and things of that nature. Now, they're not going to be experts when they come out because that takes 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
I don't think anybody's going to stay in school for that long. Well, maybe not for that craft, but there are people that do.
I'm on my fifth degree right now.
That's right. That's right.
Professional students.
That's right.
There's a few of them.
Well, you kept using the terminology of partners, and so one of the things I wanted to highlight and what part y'all play in the community with small business owners and large companies is that partnership. So if you're a business owner and you're trying to figure out where to find talent, right? Where to improve your workforce. You have a resource partner right here at Delta Community College that will work with you. And a lot of these companies have helped y'all design the curriculum, which a lot of people think y'all just pull it out of the sky and we're gonna do hand weaving baskets this week. It's like, no, y'all are working with companies that understand the need in the area and regulated to do so as well. So I mean, that's the focus. Y'all's courses really focus on what the need is. And work with real companies and bring in real people that are doing that day to day.
In those real companies.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that. So we want to highlight that and say, hey, if you have a need, you definitely need to have a relationship with community college because they're training your next employee.
Absolutely. And to add to that, there are companies that come to us that their current workforce or work staff, they may be doing a capital investment, some sort of capital expenditure to expand their business. There's several in the area that are expanding business. You can see them all over the news. Energy just made their large announcement last week. And there are lots of others in the region that can come to us, and we can actually create a specific or specialized training for that company. I've done it in many situations where I'll actually go into the company and train them on their equipment that they may or may not know how to use. And if we don't have that skill set specifically at Delta Community College, we can get that specific skill set because we have partners such as Manufacturers Extension Partnership, which has been a great asset for the Louisiana Delta Community College. And we have a representative there. They have a large nationwide network that we can pull from. So we create not just training for training the workforce itself. When we say train the workforce, those that are outside of work right now, we also train people who are working right now to upskill them.
Absolutely.
There are
Sure.
several businesses in the area I have lined up that I'm
Right.
going into their business to
Right.
do specific training for them, and they call me and we have those specific conversations.
Yeah, on some background on that, one of the first Louisiana Catalyst kind of collaborations was me and John. We didn't know at the time we were meeting, but we lined up with a client that was looking for training and trying to grow their workforce. So we set up a meeting with Delta. We set up a meeting with Workforce Board 83, which we're hoping to have them on a future episode to kind of highlight the training grant. And so put everybody in one room and say, hey, small business owner, what are you trying to do and accomplish? And between the different entities, we're able to put together. And I think they end up getting an award, like $100,000 training grant.
Yeah,
To
very possible.
You know, so those are the things that are out there. So just encourage, if you're a small business owner, reach out to these resources because you never know what is available. And the whole point and drive is to create jobs.
Absolutely. There are, and that's the whole thing of this, is the catalyst, to pull all this together.
Right.
Let's all work together. There are a lot of pieces, parts, and resources out there that people are not even aware of, and you don't know
Right.
what you don't know.
Right, absolutely.
So, and it's a great thing that you guys are doing, is pulling this together and informing people of what's out there.
Right.
I'm out there. And the trainings that we have going on at Delta, specifically on the workforce side, we have a schedule that's constantly updated on our webpage at www.ladelta.edu, and you can click on the workforce, the word workforce, and it takes you directly to our training schedule. If nothing on that schedule fits your business or your service, then give us a call and we can create a specialized training for your facility, or even get you on the right track and getting you the resources to receive fundings to help train your incumbent staff that's there today.
Right. I kind of want to, just before we wrap it up, I want to emphasize, and you can probably attest to this being a fellow engineer, right? The involvement from real life companies in the curriculum side and structuring that curriculum is so incredibly valuable because the theoretical stuff is great from a foundational perspective, but it is not reality by any means. I remember my first 6 months on the job, I was like, you're supposed to just plug and play and it's supposed to come out to this. And no, that's just not how reality works. And so it's, I just wanted to emphasize that is, you don't get that in academia. You just don't. Now, I'll say this much: it's not very common that you get that in academia.
Yeah.
So for real life, companies to have real life applications built into the curriculum, I think there's a ton of value in that.
I typically have about 50-50, where it's 50% classroom, and then the other 50% is hands-on. So
Oh,
we're
that's
going to get
awesome.
dirty, we're going to get greasy, we're
Right.
going to get our hands on something.
Sure.
I'm going to make sure they do it safely.
Sure.
But we're going to get our hands
Of course,
on something.
yeah.
Right.
Because that's where the rubber meets the road.
Of course.
And we've got to get hands busy and people in the chairs. So.
Cool. Do you have any?
No, well, look, we appreciate your
Yeah.
time. Look forward to continue working with you. And if, like John said, if y'all do have a need, reach out to them. Reach out to us. We'll help you plug in and really highlight, what resources are available to you. It may be a mixture. It may have John there, may have somebody from workforce development, may bring in VC to help you do some financial modeling to help you figure out how to afford it. So
That's right.
a lot of different options for you.
Cool. Yep. Thanks again.
Thank y'all for
And,
the invite, and anything I can help y'all do, just let me know.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Likewise.
Thank you.
Catch y'all on the flip side.